everybody, and welcome back to our channel, Red Bull Coffee and Crime. Today, I am going to be doing part two of Tommy Sell's story. Um, this one is going to be a little bit about his surviving victims. Um, it's really sad to listen to. It's heartbreaking. This man, he he definitely hurt many, brutally murdered many. He, I don't, you would have to watch part one, but okay. Fabian Witherspoon didn't know she had survived a serial killer's attack when it happened, nor that she had seriously injured her attacker in the process. She was just trying to escape with her life. She said in an interview, "I just wanted to get away, and I didn't realize I had stabbed him. And it was very, very, very hard to know that I had the capability of hurting someone like that." So the man who attacked her was Tommy Lynn Sells. And as we know, he's a notorious serial killer who has confessed to killing at least 50 people during 3 decades. Um, Most of his victims didn't survive his attack. Witherspoon is believed to be only one of two known survivors. Um, he had killed before by the time he targeted Witherspoon, and he didn't think uh, this then a 19-year-old woman would fight back with so much strength. She said, and I quote, "I always felt it. If something like that ever happened to me, I would probably just faint. I would just, I would faint and die. I would not fight, but I found out that I was somebody different." Witherspoon also, um, I'll go into that in a minute. So Witherspoon was walking to her friend's apartment on May 13th, 1992, in Charleston, West Virginia, when she noticed a younger man under the bridge with a sign asking for food and showing her a photo of his wife and children. I went over this a little bit in the part one. We talked about, the survivors, but I'm telling their story now. Um, she had felt sympathy toward him and decided to give him food and clothes from her friend's apartment. She told him, "Hey, come on, I will give you some food. I have some clothes." When they got there, she asked him to wait outside while she got food items from the pantry. Um, and this man was Tommy Sells. So, while she was doing that, he went in the house, he got a knife, and he locked the door, went up behind her, and they were alone in the apartment. Um, he told her to do what he said and he wouldn't hurt her. At first, she complied. Um, he led her to the bathroom with a knife still in his hand. And what was going through her mind, and I quote, "I just thought, okay, I'll get through this. I'll get through this, and then he'll leave, and then everything will be okay." But then it came to a point that I was panicking and looking out through the shower. Witherspoon, she also said Sells told her he was going to rape her, and that's when she decided she was going to fight back. He pushed her up against where the toilet was, and on the back of that toilet, there was a ceramic duck. She grabbed that duck and, she went crazy, started hitting him with it repeatedly over and over on his head. He was still standing up at that time. So they were struggling. There was a big struggle. She kept hitting him with this duck, and she managed to get the knife away from him. and she started stabbing him. Um, Sells was injured, obviously, and he grabbed a piano stool and hit her with a really hard force on her head. Um, she said that she felt something crashing down over her head, and that was the last thing that she remembered when she came. When she, woke up, police and ambulance were there. Sells tried to get away with this, but his injuries, they landed him in ICU and in police custody. So, after the attack, Sells actually took a plea deal on malicious wounding charges and served 5 years in prison. So he only did 5 years. At this time, law enforcement did not know that he was a serial killer. Um, and he got that short sentence. He got out. Witherspoon has also said she felt like it was her fault that he only got 5 years. Um, she said, and I quote, I read that after he had his encounter with me, he never wanted to be stuck in that situation again where he could be at jeopardy of being hurt. So he turned to smaller people or children. So a lot of you don't know this next victim's story. Um, and this happened just 4 months after his release from prison. So it was October 13th, 1997. 10-year-old Joel Kirkpatrick was murdered in his bedroom in Lawrenceville, Illinois, in the middle of the night. The boy's mother, Julie Rhea, said screams woke her up. She ran to her son's bedroom. She encountered an intruder with a ski mask on and no sign of Joel. Rhea said she struggled with the intruder all the way to the backyard, where he backhanded her and walked off into the night. Um, Julie was a mother that was fighting for custody of her son. She was getting her life together. She was working. So this happened. Um, and the murder weapon was a steak knife that was pulled from the kitchen. It was left on the floor outside of Joel's bedroom. Rhea told police that she thought Joel had been kidnapped, but when officers arrived at the house, they found him dead on the other side of his bed. They said that they didn't find any signs of a struggle. Rhea described at the crime scene. Nothing had been stolen. The house was very neat. There were no signs of forced entry. And so Rhea, who obviously always maintained her innocence, she became the primary suspect for years. You know, they said that her motive was the bitter custody battle and the fact that Rhea had Joel's blood on her clothes that night. Rhea's defense claimed Joel's blood transferred on her clothes during the struggle with the intruder. She was indicted on first degree murder charges, and this was in 2000. Um, so this poor woman, this poor child gets murdered. She loses her child, and she is getting blamed. Um, I can't imagine. She, oh, I can't. Why would a mother kill her child? We don't know, said Ed Parkinson, who prosecuted the case. We do know, though, there was a long battle of custody for Joelle. She disliked her ex-husband so much that whether this was to punish him or whether in her own twisted way, she thought Joelle would be better off than growing up with her ex-husband. But that wasn't the case, you guys. She loved her son so much. She was happy. She was got a job. She had her own place. Everything was going good. Um, During Rhea's trial, her public defender actually told her not to testify in an interview. In 2002, Reyes said, I argued with him about it, and he's like, no, no, our experts have said that Parkinson will use everything you say and try to twist it around. One of the witnesses her attorney called to testify was her good friend, Dawn Hansel. I was asked to testify in Julie's first trial to show that she had invited me to spend the night there. And why would she invite me to be there if she had planned on killing Joelle? It didn't make any sense at all. But Rhea was convicted of the murder of her son, and she was sentenced to 65 years in prison. And shortly after that conviction, she sat down for an interview. She told her side of the story, something that she didn't get the chance to do at trial because her lawyer advised her not to. She says, the last person in the world I would hurt is my son. My son knows I would have never hurt him. At this time, there was, let me find my notes. So Diane Fanning, who is a true crime writer, she just finished a book about Sells, actually. And at the time, Sells, he was finally on death row for the murder of 13-year-old Katie Harris in Texas. Fanning, the true crime writer, said she was taken aback by the prosecutor's claim that an intruder would not break into a house with the intent to kill and not bring a murder weapon. And she knew that Sells had done that in more than one occasion. Fanning, she wrote a letter to Sells, a letter telling him about the prosecutor's comments. She said, I quote, I did not tell him the name of the prosecutor, the name of the case, the town where it occurred, the time when it occurred, nothing like that. Tommy responded, and he said, about that woman who claimed someone broke into her house, was that like maybe on the 13th? And Fanning was shocked because that was exactly when the crime occurred. She said when she read the letter, her hands started shaking and she felt like she had justice in her hands and that she had to do something. Fanning said she got in touch with a Texas Ranger who knew Sells, and based on his letter, believed Sells could have killed the little boy. So in 2003, Sells was actually interviewed by police and gave a detailed confession to killing a boy and described how a woman tried to fight him off. Bill Clutter, who is an investigator with Illinois' Innocence Project, Sells recalled details about Joel Kirkpatrick's murder that he would not have known unless he were there. There had been corroborating evidence to place Sells in Lawrenceville, Fanning said. When I found out that, then I believed 100%, not only in Julie Ray Harper's innocence, but in Tommy Lynn Sells' guilt. Meanwhile, Rhea had been in prison for 2 years, and this is when a court ruled to vacate her conviction based on a technicality. But prosecutors decided to retry the case. They were really trying to get her, you guys, and even though Sells admitted to doing this. So Rhea, armed with a new defense team through the Center on Wrongful Convictions, used Sells' audio taped confession at her second trial, which took place in 2006. The prosecution, which they always maintain that Rhea killed her son, they try to say that Sells' confession was a fabrication. I mean, they really had it out for her, guys, and I feel so horrible. I don't know why they would do this. So anyway, she was found not guilty, and the state of Illinois granted her a certificate of innocence. She said, and I quote, I just felt like Joel was right there with me, and he was just so happy. After she heard the verdict, it was incredible. Since her exoneration, Rhea had been become an advocate working with organizations that help women who feel they have been wrongly convicted and are fighting to prove their innocence. Sells was never, and this really pisses me off, he was never formally charged for Joel's murder, but he was executed in Texas, 2014. As Rhea was fighting her legal battles, Witherspoon, the victim that we just talked about before this, also discovered that her assault years prior was committed by a serial killer. She said it was a lot to take in. And then I did sort of feel like at first, like, wow, you did survive. You survived a serial killer. You survived someone who did all these things. And the more I found out of the horrific things he did to people, the more I had some survivor's guilt. And living with the fact that he did start killing children more frequently after me. She says that if she would have fought harder to keep Sells in prison, then maybe Joel could have been saved. She says there's a lot of guilt there and that she's been talking to a lot of people and they say I shouldn't feel that way. She said she's had people call her a hero and she doesn't feel like one. Well, I feel so bad for all these people. She can't put that blame on her because she did not know. And that is what the judge gave her. Gave him, and I feel horrible. I hope that she ended up getting the help that she needed, and still needs. And, it just shows us how many wrongful conviction cases there are. This mother did not kill her son, and she would have spent the whole rest of her life in prison. If one true crime writer did not see, the link between Sells and her son's murder. So, that is what I have on my notes for part 2 for Sells. Let me look at one more thing. I wasn't going to do this tonight, so I think I want to, hold on. I think I want to play a part of an interview with him. I'm not on the computer though, so I can't share my screen.
You save big this home and auto bundle. Extravafest and save-a-thon. Measuring savings now. You know what that means, Tiger?
They were all innocent children. A son, a brother, lives with limitless possibilities ahead of them. But what these boys would grow up to become, brutal killers. Could their brains have provided a roadmap to the sickness that would consume them? Every mean, vicious psychopath, once upon a time, one was an innocent young baby. For some people, the die are cast early in life. Recent research suggests that psychopathy is evidenced in the brain, and that those who wind up killing over and over may have been born to do so.
And that is something that we talk a lot about on our channel. Are you born this way, or do you grow up to be like this, or does your life, how you were raised, like, are you born into this, or what I'm trying to say? So
recently, with the advent of molecular genetics and brain imaging techniques, where we've been able to peer into the minds of murderers really for the first time. We began our exploration into the inner workings of the brain along a remote highway in Texas, headed for death row, where I sat down with a 45-year-old man who could arguably have one of the baddest brains in America.
The first time I did a shot of dope, it was the best feeling I ever had in my life. And the first time I killed somebody, it was such a rush. And it was just like that shot.
I desensitized myself to it.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
It was such a rush. And it was just like that shot of dope. Every time I did it, it was that rush again. And I started chasing that high.
Tommy Lynn Sells was once a little boy growing up in St. Louis, But around the age of 14, he says he became addicted to killing. How many people have you killed?
Lord, I don't know. I don't know.
10?
Yeah,
20?
probably.
30?
And this makes me so sick. Okay, we know, as I said in part one, he had a horrible life. He was started drugs, drinking at 7. He was being molested and beat by his dad, where his mom knew about it and didn't do anything about it. Um, and the fact that he doesn't really know how many murders he committed, imagine how many people have been convicted for murder, but they were really the people that he murdered. You know, like how many innocent people are sitting in jail right now because of this monster?
It's up there. But see, I'm not Billy the Kid making notches on my holster, so I know it's been a lot.
Psychopaths are individuals who lack conscience, they lack remorse, they lack guilt. That's one of the reasons why they terrorize society so much. Sells is on death row for one murder, but he's linked to at least 17 more. The drifter's vagrant lifestyle helped him elude police for nearly 15 years, as victims turned up from coast to coast.
I am hatred. When you look at me, you look at hate.
When I look at you, I look at hate.
When you look at me, you know what hate is. I don't know what love is. 2 words I don't like to use is love and sorry.
And in that, you know, I don't feel bad for the man, of course. But he never knew what love was growing up. He was never loved by his family. Of course not. His mom let, you know, the dad sexually abuse him, physically abuse him, and mentally just so he never knew what love was. You know, I know people that have had a bad life as well that turn out to be good. So I don't know what I think about being born or, you know, having your childhood make you this way.
Because I'm about hate.
His methods for killing were as random as the people he targeted. He raped many before cutting their throats or beating them, stabbing others and strangling some.
Vicious cycle.
I couldn't help but be grateful for the glass between us.
I don't have no feelings. No more. No emotion. No.
They showed much. Dr. Adrian
And
Ray has studied the brains of.
let me pause that. When he says, I don't have any emotions anymore, he actually starts to tear up. I wish I was on my computer, you guys. Let me see. Hold on.
People scientifically determined to be psychopaths. One of the key to his methods for killing were as random as the people he targeted. He raped many before cutting their throats or beating them, stabbing others and strangling some.
Vicious cycle.
I couldn't help but be grateful for the glass between us.
I don't have no feelings. No more. No emotion. No.
They showed much. Dr. Adrian Rain has studied the brains of people scientifically determined to be psychopaths. One of the key differences that we find in the brains of psychopaths is that there's a structural impairment to part of the brain called the amygdala. This is a part of the brain very much involved in the generation of emotion. It was structurally deformed in the psychopaths.
And I like to watch the eyes fade, the pupil fade.
What do you like about that?
It's just like setting their soul free.
They just don't have those normal feelings of revulsion and disgust. They are the last images of the Dardine family. One sadistic crime Sells confessed to shows the callous, unemotional disregard for human life typical of psychopaths.
And we went over this case, you guys. Please go watch that video. It is just, oh my God, it's extremely disturbing. But in the end, they still don't know if it was really him, even though he confessed to it. And the crime was he supposedly the father picked him up. He was hitchhiking, brought him back to his house to invite him over for dinner. And he ended up murdering the wife. She was pregnant at the time with a baby girl, and it made her go into labor. So the baby was born, and he beat the baby to death. And then he beat the mom to death while I don't. You'll just have to go watch the video. It's heartbreaking. I hate speaking about this, but um, this crime is still. They're saying that they're not sure if it was really him, so it needs to be told.
A 30-year-old mother, 7.5 months pregnant at home with her 3-year-old son, both bludgeoned to death. What are you thinking and feeling when you kill someone?
It's just like that drug. I'm after that drug again. I don't have a on and off switch. I'm just after that drug. I'm after that feeling.
During the beating, Eileen Dardine went into spontaneous labor, giving birth to a daughter who investigators believed to be alive at the time. The new baby was also beaten to death, and the body of Dardine's husband turned up a day later, shot 3 times in the head. I wonder if you could just tell me what happened as you were killing her.
He also chopped off his penis. And right now, this is the first time I'm actually hearing the interview, so I want to see what he says because they're still not sure that he did this.
Did she give birth to a baby?
You know, you're pushing your luck.
Sorry.
Let's not get into blood and guts.
You
Because
see,
that's what you're trying to get into.
Sells blames much of his murderous rage on sexual abuse he says he suffered as a child. You also killed children.
Some got killed, yes.
Now, why would that happen?
I didn't want them to live through the pain I lived through.
It's biology plus environment. It's biology coming together with environmental insults which raise the odds of an individual becoming a violent criminal offender.
I'm trying to get in this door right here.
2 days after his final murder, Tommy Lynn Sells walks police through the crime scene.
Man, I opened the window all the way up, walked out like this. That's about it.
We kind of stayed up a little later, and we got in a little fight about where we were all going to sleep. We laid there and talked a bit. We talked about the time, like Britney Spears and NSYNC.
Crystal Searles, 10 years old at the time, was sleeping over at her friend Katie Harris's. A decade later, that night is still fresh in her memory.
I woke up startled a little bit, and out of nowhere, and I was kind of confused, to a loud noise.
I woke this girl up.
Her friend Katie was asleep on the bottom bunk.
I got it wrong.
I kind of just like leaned my head up a little bit, and I could see that there was a scary older man that I'd never seen before.
I stabbed her here. And then she might jump back, and I cut her like the breath.
He had a hand on her mouth.
and right now in the interview, they're at the actual house. He's not handcuffed. He's not anything, which is really scary. I don't know how I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, this man murdered over 50 people. Oh.
And then I on her neck, and she's looking at me, and he just cut her throat, and she fell to the ground.
She fell down right here.
I heard Katie at the bottom of the bed, or on the floor at the bottom of the bunk bed. She was like gasping for air and choking, like she couldn't breathe.
13-year-old Katie Harris lay dying on the floor.
He was about to shut off the light, and he looked one last time, and he noticed that I was there, and he didn't hesitate at all. I mean, just shut the door, came right back towards me with the knife.
I walked over here. I went like this.
The only thing that he said is, "Move your hands," because I had him up here, and he reached over the top bunk and cut my neck.
Sells sliced Crystal's neck, severing her windpipe and grazing her carotid artery.
I am very sure he thought he killed me.
Crystal Searles identified Tommy Lynn Sells as her assailant and her friend's killer, putting an end to his homicidal spree. Do you remember the little girl who survived?
Yes. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about her.
What did you do to her, sir?
Her neck was cut
How did you do that?
with a knife.
Do you have anything to say to her, the little girl who survived?
I guess you'll relay this message to her.
It's very difficult to control a psychopath. They're the person in control. In fact, in an interview, psychopaths tend to take control of the interview.
What's your name?
Martin.
Martin?
Yes. Can I call you Tommy?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think she really wants to hear what I get to say.
What did you see in his eyes?
To be honest, he seemed blank. I mean, there was no emotion. It wasn't hard for him. All he would say is, "Move your hands." You know, it was just, I mean, after what I'd seen him do, he had no emotion in his eyes.
That emptiness evident as we spoke. So what if
But
I called you
see-
something that you didn't like? Do you think about killing me?
Well, it was in a fight.
But see, he had, hey, hold on. But see, he in his eyes right now, let me get it. He had like a teary, hold on, copy. Um, I'm not on my computer and I wish I was so I could play this interview like to show. Oh, he definitely was. He definitely was. He's a freaking sicko. I was, because on our channel, we talk about, are people like this born, um, born like this, or they like, are they made like this? Um, he's disgusting for all, and well, wait, I just sent the link. Um, out of all the crimes he committed and against all the little children, even the newborn that was premature, it's disgusting. But right now, like, I'm not saying he had like a teary eyed, and I don't know what, it doesn't mean anything, but for him to say, oh no, I don't have any emotion, he like turned away. And when he said he kills, grabs a cup of joe. Okay. Um, when he, what was I about to say? Now I can't remember. Oh, he asked, the interview guy asked, why, why do you kill children? And he's like, I don't want them to live the life that I lived, which is really creepy. And I don't use that. I don't think that's an excuse at all. He didn't grow up good, but I do know a lot of people that had shitty home lives and they didn't go around killing anybody. For the mother that her son died, um, and she got wrongly convicted. She did 2 years in prison. I just went over all that. But yeah, this man is definitely sick. I'm curious. How many people have been to prison because of this man's murders? But I did do a part one as well. Um, and that just went over his home life. And right now I'm just going over his victims. I went over, he had 2 victims that survived. And one feels horrible because, he got 5 years in prison after attacking her, and he got out, and, he went to younger people. This man's just sick. But I'm just really curious. Are people born this way or are they made to be like this? You know? What do you guys think? There are some serial killers out. Like, what's his name? Um, dude that ate people. I forgot his fucking name. Like, he had a good home life besides his mom being like a pillhead, but he wasn't abused or beat or. Hold on. I'm trying to look up. I wish I was on my computer so I could show videos. Mm. And the fact that he claims to have killed over 70 people, but the police only believe that he murdered 22 people that they know of. That's why I'm so curious if other people have been put in prison because of him, like the mom, Mm, and then I wanted to go over. Hold on. Ah, my tablet just died. Hey.
Sup? Hi. Girl, you are so right about. Oh no. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Whoa,
me?
you know what? Stupid me, I left my YouTube on. The Tommy Lynn Sells case. Girl.
He is
Didn't you do
insane.
it the Darlene or the Dardine family recently?
Yeah, I did.
He claimed that he did that.
Yeah, he claims he did that, but they're still not sure.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering though, like, did he
Right.
do it?
Well,
You know,
that was awful. I mean, I don't
that
know how
is,
specific you got in that Dardine case, but the mother gave birth because.
yes.
Okay, see, yeah, you know.
I went over
Dark.
all of that. Like,
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
disgusting.
Scary as shit. And that murder you were just talking about, where that mom went to prison for the murder of
Yeah.
her own son. Do you realize it was because Tommy Lynn Sells like opened the door for her at a 7-Eleven or something, and she didn't say thank you? That was
Right?
it. That was it. Yeah, and he followed her home, waited till dark, and then broke into her house and used her own kitchen knife to.
I did not know it
Yes.
was because she didn't open a door. Oh,
Right. Something so
God.
benign. He felt so disrespected. And can you imagine? She was
I
telling the truth the whole time.
the whole time,
Mhm.
and she went to prison, and
I think didn't she give a reporter an interview and they kind of put, like, and then they interviewed Tommy and one reporter, like, put it together. I think it was somebody interviewing Tommy.
it
He
was
was,
a true crime writer. I just
oh,
said her name, but I forgot. So she was watching an interview, and like she was just got done writing a book about Tommy, and she was like, "Oh my God, like this," because the prosecutor kept saying, "Who doesn't bring their own weapon to kill somebody?" And
right.
she was like,
Yeah.
"Tommy does that."
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of people do, actually. It's scary.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The prosecutors were going hard for her.
They
Like,
went hard on her, and her husband did too. Well, her divorce, because she was divorced by then, right? So
Yeah.
he was totally convinced that it was something that she did because he was, I mean, it was nuts how she got convicted, but they didn't believe her. And she said, I grabbed him. She gave his description. She was like, he was sitting, like she walked, redid how she chased after him. And they just said, I just can't. I'm so glad that she kept it together and didn't, like, some people just say goodbye and give up.
yeah,
Because,
and or just like either do that or just say I
Or be
did it,
harmed.
or
by people who, don't like child killers. Anything could happen. God.
it can. And I wonder how many murders like that he did commit that other people went to prison for. Like,
It's-
'cause
Yeah.
he
It's a-
claims it's 70 people, and the police only say it's 20 or 22.
Have you ever seen the interview that he did before he got executed?
Was it the one I was just looking at?
I think that one guy had an accent, right? He's an African American.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Warner
It was-
Snitz or whatever his name is.
Hold on. Let me see. He was talking to Martin Bashir.
Oh, Martin Bashir. Okay,
Yeah.
so Tommy gives this. They get to pick who they want to interview, right? And there's this one dude that was on death row, but he was innocent and he got off. So now he dedicates his life down in Texas, right? And they all love him. Tommy picked him, and he gave this interview. And Tommy Lynn literally said, "They call me a serial killer, and I don't know why. Does that make sense to you?" Yes. It was insane.
I
Like,
have to look that up. Hold on.
It's.
Look that up.
Let me see if I can.
If you could pull it up on your
Yeah.
computer and like, that's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, let me mute so you don't hear me click clacking.
That is, right now when he asked, he's like, why do you kill kids? Like, he's like, I don't want them to be raised like or go through what I did. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't use that excuse. I know you had a shitty childhood, but obviously you realize not every kid has a shitty childhood. I feel bad for the way he was raised, but
He was basically abandoned. He had a twin who died of I guess she got sick, and well, you know, and then he lived in a junkyard.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean
he
it was
ended up
bad,
crawling
but
in bed naked with his grandma, and then his mom.
because
kicked him out
as you do. Oh,
Huh.
I'm looking for it. Don't worry, I'll find it.
Yeah, because
It actually upset me because I was like, dude, how dare you? Like, ugh.
Right? You're disgusting. And out of everybody, like he could have picked anybody, and he picked this dude.
Right.
I'm surprised the dude even went.
I'm trying to think.
But we do talk about all the time. Like, what do you think? Do you think people are born like this, or what do you think makes somebody like this?
I think they're made.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, I used to study serial killers, not so much anymore because they're really not producing much information about it anymore. Like the old, the old I guess OGs of them.
Yeah.
But I think they link something traumatic happening in the age where it has an impression on them, and it also has like a sexual connotation, if I may. And then it becomes like fantasy.
Yeah.
Like Ted Bundy found out that his sister was his mom and lost his shit. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of, yeah.
He found what?
His sister was his actual mother. Not a lot of people know this, but Ted Bundy was adopted by his grandparents, and his real mother was so young when she gave birth that they said, we will say we are his parents. And he peeped on his sister. Well, he started catching on that something was different. And he peeped on his sister, like when she would undress, right?
And that
so
was
then
his mom?
he found that he went back home, found his birth certificate, found out it was his mom, and then soon after, that's when he started to hunt and kill in the Pacific Northwest. Isn't that crazy?
I did not know
Bananas.
About that.
Yes. Like
there is a channel on here where I met her. She's really good. She her grandfather and her dad helped let me pull her up. They helped like find him, and like he wrote a whole book, her dad, and her channel is really good. Like I've spoken to her, and she I'm like, oh my god, that is crazy. Like they helped transfer him and all that stuff. And
you mean Bundy? Sorry.
Yeah. Let me find her channel because she does a lot of child stories.
Yeah.
Cases.
Yeah.
Where is it?
They still have a vial of Bundy's blood and DNA on the system. They run it through CODIS just in case, because they believe that his victims, there are more than 30. I think he said 36. Isn't that crazy? 36. I don't even think I've met, like, in the last 5 years, 36 people.
No. Like,
it's so many. It's just crazy.
A lot.
But yeah, I would hate to think that you're born that way. You know? Like, that's just universally not fair.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how
You know
I
what I
think.
mean?
I feel you're born into it. Like, what's his name? I'll have to look. Hold on, I'm looking for this girl. I can't multitask.
I'm the same way. I'm thinking about that guy and then that poor mom who got sentenced. I'm just all over the place. I'm right there with you. It's
like
easy
2
to do.
years in
Yes.
prison. I would not have managed to.
Right?
Heck no.
And so when you looked at her, you're like, yeah, when you think someone's guilty, you're like, oh yeah, you totally did it. And then when they cry, you're like, those are fake tears, right? I mean, that would drive me,
Exactly.
Let's see,
her channel is called Let's Discuss It.
Ooh, let's discuss it.
She's freaking awesome. You should go check her out. And then the guy that we did his show on, like, I fully believe, like, he was definitely born into this. He had decades, like, his great grandparents, his great great grandparents, his mom, his dad, his brothers, like, his whole family were con artists and murderers and, hold on, what is his name?
Do you remember by any chance the victim's name, which I think is horrible because they don't do it by victim. They name the killer first. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you're talking about
whoever. Yeah, like maybe I'll know it by a victim name. Or the act of the crime.
I'm looking up the video.
Oh, okay.
He has a lot. Oh, Nico Jenkins.
Oh, that guy out of Arizona?
Yes, I even
Gosh.
I even named it Nico Jenkins, born into family of evil or just born evil, because he's crazy. You know, he's all tatted up, that guy. We're talking about the same one, right?
Yes, I was going to say, doesn't he look like almost alien, like scary?
Yes, he looks so scary. But the way he was brought up, if you go, because I have a friend that I met through YouTube, and they're called Unforbidden True Podcast.
You know everybody. You're like, I know this person, I know that person. That's
I just
awesome.
meet them, and then I'm like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
you know, we just connect on here.
Yeah.
And his channel, he actually has interviews with people from prison.
Yeah.
So that's all his channel is, and he actually has one of Nico.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I reached out to him, and we started talking, and he like told me a bunch of like inmates or serial killers that would write back to you, that won't write back to you. Like, you know, it's pretty cool what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he didn't he ask, like, he told the court he wanted death row, right? Like he wanted to be, he was on death row and he wanted to hurry his execution or something like that.
I can't even remember now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't even remember what crime he committed. Isn't that awful?
He
I feel guilty.
Killed four people. He went on like a crime spree after he just got out of prison. Like, he was in prison his whole life, and then
so he wanted to just go back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at age 8, he brought a gun to school, and he was in and out of foster care, and his mom knew that he had suffered mental illness, and she started giving him medication. And his dad, who would always be like, you're giving him poison, he doesn't need that shit. And every time he would fight somebody when he was young, like, he would be like, good job, that's my boy, you know. So he would tell the mom, no, that's poison, you're not giving my son pills, like, there's nothing wrong with him. So she stopped giving him the pills, and, you know, it didn't help him at all. So now in prison, he's on medication, and he's like, I feel like a whole new person.
So he wants to live now?
Yeah, like,
okay.
He's I feel bad for him.
Like, well, that's that kind. I get that. Like, I would, you know, somebody raised in, like, where you have to be on, you know, where it's that fight or flight, and your brain gets stuck in that. And then seeing, you know, like, shame on his parents, man. Like, break that cycle. It's hard to do, but you can do it. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I did with mine. I was raised, I have, you know, a mother. My mom did pass, but she wasn't the greatest mother. She abused me, and she picked men over me. And we decided, my husband and I, we were going to break that cycle, and we were going to do things completely different and make our own family tree from us on. Like, right? Just break it. Yeah. But yeah, I feel sorry for people that become victim to their circumstances. It's just all they know.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You know.
You're right. You have to break that cycle. It's like, you know, that's why people, a lot of the time, they're like, don't worry about your family. Like, worry about the family that you made. You
right.
know?
And that's when you said, shit happens. That doesn't mean you just turn around and do it to somebody else. But totally is true. 100%. And I find that just as much as an excuse as you do. I think that's bull. You know, when somebody says, I was abused, that's the first thing pedos, when they're caught, say.
Yeah.
I was abused. Like, we're supposed to feel sorry. That's totally manipulating. Like, oh, you were? Oh, okay. We'll just go home now. No.
Right? Like,
No. Have you ever watched Ghost? He's called Ghost. Yeah. He works Southern LA, and he does these busts. You would love him.
Is it on? He's on YouTube?
Yeah, let me find him for you. But you would. I think it's Ghost. Yeah, he calls himself Ghost, and he wears a mask. Big dude. But he. It's CC Unit. That's what it is.
CC Unit.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look it up. My tablet's fucking up.
Here, I'll put the link in the private chat.
Unit.
He is awesome.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah. He does live catches, and he basically confronts the person, right? And then because he's so popular right now, people find out where he's at or what city he's in, and they start driving by. And then the mods are like, okay, now call the police, because he gives them a choice: talk to me, or we call the police. And they always talk to him, right? Yeah.
That's what we do. Well, I'm not, I don't live where they live, but I'm part of pulling them in.
You like that, what do they call it?
Like I'm the decoy.
Yeah, that's it. The decoy. Yeah.
So, they do the same thing, but I'm like, if I was there, I couldn't do that. I don't know how they hold their composure, and right. Sometimes they're like, do you want to go to jail, or do you want to go to the mental hospital, or it's just. Oh. He
does say, like, we can get you counseling, we can get you help. And there was this one, like, I'm not kidding. This dude was like 400 pounds, and literally, Ghost felt so sorry for him that he was like. I mean, the chat called the police on him, right? Because Ghost wouldn't give the signal. And they just wanted this guy busted, but he had Ghost's heart, because Ghost realized this dude this was his own. Ghost believed it was his first time. They always say that. I've never done this before. But he was like, you know what? Yeah, he was like, what would you have done if that girl showed up? And he was like, well, I would have done what you said, what you think. I mean, he was completely honest. I still think it's sick, but there are a few that will benefit from help if they haven't committed the crime, right? In my opinion. Yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert, but man,
I don't know.
They're the worst.
Like, iffy on that, because we don't know if they've really done it, or.
Oh, you mean when you're, yeah. You're so young, and I say that's a compliment. But like young. Portland,
I think I'm so
you
young.
You look
I'm
very
old.
Whatever.
35 is
no, no, you're not. No way. I wouldn't say a day over 30. No way. Really?
Yeah.
35. You girl, when you turn 40, you're aging gracefully.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, you don't hear that a lot?
Yeah, I do. Like,
okay.
I still get carded for like cigarettes and shit. And I'm like I never bring my driver's license for some reason. I always forget it at home. And I'm like, really? Like, you're not going to give me the cigarettes? They're like,
right.
I'm like, I have tattoos. Like, what? They're like, that doesn't mean anything. I'm like, okay.
But then you say, but I know your sister, and we drank together, and we smoked. Come on. Because you know everybody. What was I going to say? Oh, so Portland would set up these stings where they'd put a female officer out, like as a prostitute, that would walk this avenue. So she was an undercover agent. And this pissed me off, I felt like it was almost entrapment in a way. Because one dude that say he's been fired, he's having the worst day of his life, and he decides, you know what, screw it. and I need some comfort. And starts talking to her, and then now he's known as a John. Like, did he really commit? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, to me, shady. I mean, yes. I don't think they still do it, but I mean, if they do, they probably do it in a different way. But they did big time, and I was so against it. I was.
That is really fucked up.
I thought it was entrapment, and I'm like, he didn't commit the act. Like,
That is.
yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they do set people up, especially with the predator catchers. Like, not our new team. They separated. So the ones that I work with is IPC, but the EPC, there was like a whole lot of complaints. Like, you guys only go after the like mentally retarded or slower people, and so I kind of thought about it, but the ones that I work with now, they don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are sick.
There are, and it, you know what? When you become it's weird, but when you become a parent, it's like it's like the world is. You see it. You suddenly see evil everywhere.
Yeah.
And it made me.
I'm trying to put my little thing on. I don't know why it's sideways. Like,
I was looking for something. Let me look at the screen. What do you did?
Oh shit!
Is it your phone just like not staying up? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, like I'm trying to put it in my little thing, and oh fuck it.
Can you sit and like put a book? You know, like shove a book up against the wall. There you go. You fixed it. You got it. Yeah, Tommy Lynn Sells. He reminded me a lot of you know Henry Lucas, right? That guy was a American serial killer who confessed to like over 100 murders when he only like killed 2 people. And
Henry Lucas.
Henry Lucas, yeah. He
sounds familiar. Let me see.
Yeah, he's notorious because he became that guy who lied. But Texas Rangers, they flew him, they fed him steak. It was like he was on tour, like he was a rock star, because he was like, yeah, I killed that person too, when he didn't. That's exactly what Tommy Lynn Sells did. And they flew Tommy, on private planes. They flew Tommy everywhere.
Yeah, disgusting. I just saw when I was looking at that interview, like they took him to the last like crime scene he was at, or with the girl, or I don't know. But he was walking through the house like without handcuffs, and
wasn't that awful?
Yeah, I mean,
oh my God, I adore her. She talk about a survivor. What was her name? Oh gosh, I hate that I forgot her name. Kristen or
Christina or
yes,
Christina, I think.
Yeah, and she was having a slumber party, and yeah, can you imagine, like in the sanctity of your own home, and that sickle knife? You got me messed up, Tommy. You know where he is right now.
Oh no, I've never heard of him.
Oh, girl, wait till you see his smile.
He's
missing something.
Wait,
he is one fugly dude.
Look at that.
Yes. Yes. He was on death row, but he died of a heart attack. But he killed his mother and a girlfriend that was mentally handicapped.
Oh, wow.
But he confessed to hundreds. And the way the Texas Rangers did him, it was like, dude.
Oh, wait. He was paroled in 1970. He went back to jail for attempted kidnapping.
Nice guy.
Of a 15-year-old girl, released again. He killed 2 more women. And then he confessed to murdering hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Why? Because he wants to be like...
Because once he found out that getting out of a cell and getting cigarettes and having steak and whatever he wanted, they gave him. It was ridiculous the way that they treated Henry.
That's
And they
insane.
wanted, you have cops, even dirty ones that want to close cases, right?
Yeah.
That agree, yeah. And so what they were doing is they were showing him crime scenes. So then they didn't tell the public that, of course, it came out later. But that's why he was like, oh, yeah, I know where that is. Or I killed her right here, because he had been privy to all the crime scene photos of these hundreds of unsolved murders, which is nuts.
That's disgusting. Oh, and then he became a born again Christian.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know what? I believe in God and stuff. That guy is fun. Don't laugh. But I'm kind of mad. Like, I'm going to be in heaven because you're supposed to forgive as you are forgiven, and you're going to heaven as long as right? I don't want to see him up there. Like, I'm going to totally block that dude.
Right.
Like, I'm like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, like, I don't want to run into a serial killer and be like, what's up, my friend?
See, I don't know. That kind of stuff makes me think, like, I mean, I do believe, but
Did he
are
really?
these
Right.
people really gonna go? Like, what's his name? The dude, the cannibal dude. Fuck.
The one in Canada?
No, they just had like a Netflix document on him. Me and Garnett were like,
Don't Mess with Cats. Is that the one?
No.
No.
He's really big. Like his name, he mostly killed African Americans, and he ate them. And Dahmer, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he got, what's it called, baptized and all that stuff. Like, do you really believe he went to heaven?
See, I was just going to say, you have a point. Do they really, when they say they're new, are they really committed? And that's what, I think matters. You're right. I believe Dahmer, in my opinion, he was racist.
Yeah.
I really do. And yeah, because his victimology was insane. Like,
do you think he was racist, or do you think that's just the type of guys he was?
No, I think he was secretly racist. I do. Because he moved into a black neighborhood, right? He was the only white guy in that building.
I'm gonna turn off my camera. Hold on, 'cause
Yeah,
my phone's dying, and I cannot. My charger will not allow me to set it up. Hold on.
It's okay if you have to go. We can.
Oh no, I'm putting off the camera.
Okay,
so I can lay it down.
Yeah. And that victim that got away, and then the police put him back. Are you out of your minds? Can you believe that? Naked, wearing one handcuff, and bleeding.
Who does that?
Cops that were, because Dahmer was like, we're gay lovers, and it embarrassed the police. Yeah. So they were like, we don't want to touch it. It's just a domestic. And the neighbors were like, he's going to eat him and make me a barbecue sandwich that I'm not going to eat. So can you please, right? Yeah.
Can you take this dude? Can you do something? Like,
And Dahmer, his parents, they fought over his brain after he was murdered.
See, we had that conversation before, and I really wish that the fucking mom would have let them, what's it called? Experiment or test it or whatever.
Like for scientific. Yeah.
But she didn't want that. Like, why?
No. Because I don't know much about her, but I know that he lived they fought all the time. And it was
he was messed up on like pills and
and she was mental, seriously mental. Like, she didn't want to touch him. Like, they didn't bond at all, and that has a profound effect on, especially, the firstborn. But it showed me they made Dahmer. In my opinion, they helped make Dahmer. Because he would go out
that back then, because right now, before you got on, I was saying that Dahmer lived like a fairly good life, except his mom abused stuff. But now that you say all that, it's like, he didn't have that good of a life.
He didn't, and Netflix portrayed it completely different. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. I don't know why they didn't just. But see, his dad's still alive, so I think that maybe, I don't know. His dad put a book out. Like, dude, he fully supported his son and stood by him and wrote a book. I'm like, come on. And there were signs, right? Like the box. He didn't want his dad to look in the where inside that box that held that body part.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Dad.
The smells.
Yes. Like Grandma knew. Grandma was straight up. Get that that scene where she's thrown the oh my gosh, the dummy that he had in bed. When she walked in and saw that, I died. I'm sorry.
I was like, oh my God.
He stole it from forget Robin Banks. I want that dummy. I want that. What?
Like, how
sorry.
sick is that?
I don't mean it is sick. I lighten it because it's so gross. It can get dark. I use humor as a way to kind of deal with it.
No,
but
yeah. There's actually a podcast that I kind of like. It's called Morbid something. I forgot, but they they don't joke around too much, but they have fun with it, and they're like,
you have to in a way.
Yeah. Morbid. What is it?
Is it Curiosity? Because that's what I want to say, but I've never heard of them. I'll have to. But I will sign up if you remember the name.
Morbid. Oh, it's Morbid, a true crime podcast.
Okay.
So they do have a podcast, but they started putting their stuff on YouTube. But they're really good. It's just like two girls that just sit there and, but a lot of people are like, how can you laugh and joke at this? And they're just like, fuck you.
Right? You get on here and do it and see. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy for people to be critical, like even of us creators. When they say, you need to slow that down. I can't read. Gosh, that's annoying. I'm like, why don't you get up here and do it? You think it's so easy. It's hard work.
It's not easy. Like the ones where I just pop up and, just go with whatever the fuck. Because I'll just all of a sudden like write Arctic or Garnet and be like, hey, 5 minutes. Like, let's go. Like, I don't get ready for those ones, but the ones that I do get ready for, it's a lot of fucking work.
It is.
Like, you got to research and you have to write so much and make sure you have everything down.
Have you ever heard of the podcast? Oh my gosh, it is so good. Oh my gosh, no, I feel dumb. Hold on, girl. I'm on there. Wait. You've heard of True Crime Garage?
Yeah.
They did the worst job. They did 4 episodes on Karen. You have to listen to it. The inaccuracy.
I can't.
Yeah, girl.
No.
Have you ever
went over there and I was like, excuse me. Like,
yeah.
I left this long fucking thing and I was like,
oh, on their Twitter or something, or their.
It was on the Facebook, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys.
So Sword and Scale is another one. Is one that I listen to. You will love that one because it has this dude, for whatever reason, has access to like interviews and interrogations that have never been aired or seen before.
Like Crime Champs or something?
Yeah. He's Sword and Scale. It's really good.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me look it up. Hold on.
It's got the face has a picture of like a baby doll.
What is it called?
Sword and Scale.
Sword and Scale.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, I really know how to spell.
I know you do. And I know how to speak. Girl, the first time I started doing lives, I was like, and my partner was like, just stop. Just don't do the YouTube thing. I'm like, I'll try and I'll work hard.
Sword and my tablet doesn't. Hold on. I do that still. Like I cannot get words out, and I'm just like, fuck it. Like I tried to look it up. Sword and oh, it won't let me
Scale.
type. Fuck. Why?
Why is your tablet being naughty?
Why? Sword and scale. Sword and scale. Okay, I found it.
Yeah.
I love these because I
Y-
like
It
listening to
it's
the
good.
interrogations.
And I know it says try for free, but all of them are because he has like I think 3 seasons, 4 seasons. There's like 100. There's over 100. It's so good, and he covers cases that are known and then some that mostly aren't. It's fascinating.
Wait, am I looking at the wrong? Hold on.
You know what?
Live.
He, if you
I
look
don't.
it up online, you can also listen to him online. Like Google it. Sword and
Okay,
scale.
just
Yeah.
hold on. I'll look him up online because I don't. There's only like 3 videos, but it might be just this tablet being stupid.
Yeah, when he got big, then he was like, for $1.99 a month. I'm like, dude, why? It's a
Sword.
podcast.
You have to pay for it.
Even online?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I hope not. I'm just asking you. You said 199.
yeah, but see, a lot of them, they look to me free, but his recent ones, yeah, you have to pay for. But like when he first starts out, they're so good. Whew.
Okay, I found swordandscale.com. Okay, I found it. I found it. I will definitely watch some of this.
Yeah, I listen to him when I'm like falling asleep, and
That's what I was about to
I'm
say.
so weird. My husband's like, you realize as you're falling asleep, you're listening to murder, and I'm like, and I love it. Good night.
That's why my man cannot sleep with me like sometimes because he says I snore first of all, and I'm like, I do not believe I snore, but my kids say I do. I'm like, it can't be that bad. But then I
Right,
have
like
to
get over
fall
it.
asleep to
You
true
guys cried when
crime,
you were babies.
right? And, and then he's like, the true crime thing, like you fall asleep to, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, same,
I can't do
same.
without it. So,
Or if I'm cleaning, I'll put it on, and just put earbuds in and just to hear, a voice. But I've learned a lot from Mike Fuday. He's really smart. He covers a lot of good cases.
who?
Mike Fuday, he's the guy that on that podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You'll love his voice too. It's really good.
Yes. It's so weird. I don't really like watching like Netflix or anything anymore. Like it's all just Stephanie Harlow or Kendall
Yes.
Ray and
I've been doing the same thing. Like podcasts and YouTube. That's it lately. And
Yes.
barely YouTube.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find hold on, I gotta take a bathroom break. Give me 2 seconds.
You can do that. I take comfort breaks where I only go number one because I'm gonna look up Tommy Lynn really quick. He was born on June 28th, 1964, and euthanized on April 3rd, 2014. He was convicted of one murder for which he received a death penalty and was eventually executed. Authorities believe he committed a total of 22 murders. He claimed on various occasions to have murdered over 70 people.
I'm back. Yes. 70 people. And it's like, but where are these people? And was he
Right.
doing it just to get more time? Like he thought he was gonna have more time to live, or
Right? Because they actually do that, and I forgot what it's called. I think it's like bones for time or time something. There's a phrase that they use, like if you lead them or like say, hey, I know where a body is, you buy more
yeah.
time. It's totally true. Bundy did that.
And so did I forgot his name. There's so many people.
I know, girl. They're
We were
just
talking about it the
evil
other
is
day,
everywhere.
and there's a country that actually like if you give up the body, I don't know. I forgot, but we had a whole conversation with somebody, one of the subs from a different country, and something if they give up the body, like
They get a new
they don't.
identity or something, or
I don't.
that's what they do in
Something I
England.
think is that it? I think so. And
Yeah.
then yeah,
Isn't that
that's
bananas? Like,
that's fucking
yeah, they get a new identity and they secret them. And if you harass them as a citizen or publish their name or talk about them on like a broadcast or whatever, you can be charged with harassment. Like
what?
how backwards is that? That's,
So what are these people that just let
yes.
loose? Just uh
Mm-hmm. Don't go to
speaking
England.
of that, do you remember the murder where it was a wife and a husband and they took like a sex slave and I think it was in a different country. Hold
Yes,
on. Mm,
Carla, and they call him the Bennett. Is it the Barbie and Ken guy murders?
no, but those
Oh,
ones are fucking
that
weirdo too.
that witch. Ooh, girl,
She's
she got
out.
an. She murdered her own sister. She gave
Yes,
up her sister as a present to her
yes.
man. Like F you, overdosed
That
her
is just
on. Yes,
insane. And she's out and she has kids.
yes. And with a new identity, she did 10 years because
Mm.
they made the deal. See, I thought when you do a plea deal, if you lie, it's off. No, not in Canada. They like give you a new name and probably a loan for a new house. It's insane what Canada does.
Disgusting. That is disgusting.
I mean, can you imagine what her children go through when they find out, like other people find, like what they hear about their own mother? Like,
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Like if I grew up and knew my mom was Barbie, whatever her real name was,
Carla Minloco, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I would be like, I don't know how I would feel about that.
You could just call her Satan's sister. I truly,
Right?
yeah. When they found that tape, that Carpenter found the tape.
Disgusting.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the man and hold on, husband and wife, girl to be. I don't know. I always Google the weirdest shit, like, but it'll
Right.
pop up to be sex slave.
Was it the one in Corpus Christi? Not Corpus Christi. And they kept her in a drawer underneath their bed. Is that the
Oh,
one?
that one too. But no, the toy box. You're talking about the.
Yes. There
Oh,
was the toy box guy, but yeah, was it? Yeah, he kept her in a drawer under the bed.
wait, was that him?
I think so, or it may have been somebody
So
else.
many of them. Oh, what's that weird city? In New Mexico, I think it was. They named it's a weird name.
Not, I know what you're talking about, girl. I've so seen it.
Oh my God, weird name.
Oh, what
Um,
is it? You got me Googling like I'm a real
we're all over the
investigator,
place right now. Like,
right?
what the fuck?
But we're on the same level. Like you're showing me how smart, like your shit. Like very
No, I
rarely can I
don't
have this
because
conversation with anyone else.
I
You know that?
I
Like
don't know my shit because I would
you
know
do.
New Mexico City. It wasn't New Mexico. Oh, um, Truth or Consequences.
Yes. Yes,
That
that's
was
it. Isn't that
weird.
nuts? Yeah. And that was the toy box one, right?
Let me see. Consequences. Toy box killer. There's so many of them that are kind of alike. So David Parker Ray. Yeah, that was the toy
Yes.
box killer. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of. It was this. Shit.
Here, I'll look. Husband and
It's
wife.
like an older. It was. They were like an old man and an older woman. And did they have kids?
Was it overseas or in America? Do you remember?
I think it was in a different country.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Rose was the wife's name. I can't remember his
Yes.
name. Yes.
Rose.
Sick. Rose West.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I was about to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Fred and Rose West. Yes.
Nightmare. Oh, girl. Have you ever studied or the Hillside Stranglers?
I actually have not until Garnett brought that up, like her husband did. And they said that I have to watch some documentary, and I haven't yet. It's the cousins, right?
Bianchi. I think it was Kenneth Bianchi, and then if I'm talking about, let me go. It might be another name because there were
Oh,
Hillside Stranglers.
yeah. So it was two guys.
Yes.
I haven't, but I think this is the people that I was supposed to watch a documentary, and I haven't yet.
They would kidnap people. Like they kidnapped this husband and wife and the baby, and they videotaped. They videotaped their crimes, and on the tape, she's asking as they have her in a chair and they're giving her roles. Like, you will be our slave. You will do this. You will do that, right? And she keeps asking she's like, where's my baby? And they're like, don't worry about it. He's asleep.
What?
Yes. And then his partner, the other guy, got pulled over in a stolen car of a missing person. And so when he was being interviewed, he used to keep a pill in his pocket, cyanide. And when the investigator stepped out of the room, he took it and killed himself. So then, No, that's another one. That's the Chinese guy. Gosh,
Yeah, they were cousins. Wait,
Yeah.
so where was the baby at?
And they're buried. Sorry to say.
Hell no.
They had, bodies everywhere. And they built that place for that. It was crazy. But the Hillside Strangler used to...
Case that I haven't really got into, but
What is the name
I'll
of
have
that?
to I'll have to watch it. Ugh. What? I don't understand why. Why?
It's weird, but it's like the 70s, the 60s and 70s produced a lot of serial killers. Like,
Yeah,
what was going on?
It was over a 4-month span, beginning in October 1977 and ending in February 1978. New York-born cousins Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono
Yeah, I
Jr.
don't. Yeah.
Ugh.
They're not the ones I was talking about. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But the other ones I'm talking about, it was a Chinese guy and another man, and they bought land and built a bunker, and of course a place for their victims. And he ended up, the other person killed himself in the interview, and then the Chinese guy fled to Canada, and it took forever. Canada would not release him because they wanted the death penalty, right? And they said, as long as you don't kill him, you can have him. And then it took years for him to finally be convicted. But crazy.
That is...
Yeah, they would kidnap anybody and just... It was awful.
Oh my God. How many people did they kill? I'm trying to look it up. Chinese...
Yeah, girl, I just typed in Chinese cereal.
I said Builds bunker for victims
Yes.
and runs to Canada.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
I should have
Um,
said Asian. I hope nobody thinks I'm being racist. I
oh,
really do believe he was from China. I may be wrong.
Asian man runs to Canada.
Yep.
Canada murder. Oh, no. Oh, Canada mass shooting. No, not that one.
In Canada?
Yeah.
Wow.
It says a gunman killed 22 people in Canada's worst mass shooting. And then there was another one, gunman dressed as cop killed 17 people in Canada.
Recently?
Let me see. Damn, this one says 16 people. How many? This was in
That's still like a
2020.
lot. That's like, you know.
Well, I think they're different. This one says 2020. This one says the gunman dressed as a cop killed 17.
That prick.
Oh,
How awful. Canada
yeah.
is weird. They're very, like, there was this dude that caught up, but I'm sure you probably heard of it. Maybe not. But this dude, he was certifiably like nuts. And he was on a Greyhound bus traveling somewhere, and he was sitting next to this 18-year-old kid. And in the middle of the night while this kid was sleeping, he took out a bow knife and decapitated him in front of everybody on the bus.
Oh, yes.
And
I
then
heard of that.
and then they let him go after.
Yep.
That's what I mean. Canada, you got me.
No, I remember that. It's disgusting. How did they just let him go?
I don't know. Just like they did Carla Homolka or whatever her name is. That's what, Satan's sister. I'm gonna
Hold on, girl. I don't know why my thing is messing up. Hold on. Oh, I think it was because I got a message. Okay. Can you hear me?
yeah. Mic check, mic check. I'm gonna put it in the chat, a link in the private chat, a link to the ones I was talking about, so that when you have time, you can look at it. Because I found them on YouTube. These bastards. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you did cut out there. Sorry.
I was like, what the hell? My phone always does that in my lives. It's so annoying.
Whoops. Sorry.
But yeah, that shit was crazy. I totally forgot about that guy.
You know how we were talking about Web Sleuth?
Yeah.
I know the owner and creator. Her name is Trisha.
Really?
Yes. She's the one that told me that she had a very bad experience with Christina.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, at one point, Trisha was very well respected. And it's like, I wouldn't expect her to say that about another journalist, but she did. I don't know.
Talked to Christina.
Why
That's
did
so
she
weird.
retire? Did she get sick or something?
No, I wrote her and I was like, hey, we would like to talk to you about Kyron. Could you get back with me? Da da da. And she said, I stick to everything that is on there. Like, basically, if it wasn't true, she would have been sued, and that she's no longer doing it, and good luck on our something. Like, it wasn't on our journey. It was like,
Wait. She was being sued because of her.
No.
Oh.
She said everything. Like, she sticks to everything that she says. She was like, she told us we could use whatever, and if it wasn't true, she would have been sued. But she's no longer. It was so long ago. I'll have to.
Yeah, it's been like I loved Blink on Crime. And then Scared Monkeys, they were like my go-to for, because it's like a branch of Blink on Crime. And when she covered the West Memphis 3, she got real down, and I totally was like, girl, you are, because she was like, there was blood on it. She told us about evidence we weren't aware of against the 3, right? And then things started to happen in the case, and I was like, don't give up. You are making a difference. Please keep going. And she was like, thank you. I'm like, you should be told that all the time. Yeah, because she felt discouraged, like, because people were like fighting her, because you had intense supporters and then intense people who believed they were guilty. And she, by just simply writing and speaking her mind, she was attacked for it, like in the comment section. Like, no.
Well, so what do you feel? What do you think? What she says on Kyron's case. Like, how do you feel?
I think, honestly, the only thing I've read is her interview with Dee Dee.
Oh, you didn't go over like the corruption and the...
Oh, no, I did actually. I'm sorry, I forgot. I did read about the corruption of police. And here's the thing about that. There is. Like, I totally believe it. And I have family that live in that county, and they say, you do not know how corrupt these dudes are. Like, it's like factual. Like, sup, corrupt cop? And they're like, nothing. Like, it's known. And it's so bad because they have so many missing kids. And, like, where are they? Like, that's crazy to me.
It's the top, like the top state, the highest trafficking, like,
yes,
place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, okay, I just feel that, did she have bad luck that day? Because she left. What about these victims oh my God. These witnesses that came out and, they saw Kyron walking down the hall, and then he's like, I'm going to go look at this cool electric project. And he goes down, and then another boy sees him without Terry. This is after Terry left. And it was at the cool electric project. Like, so what?
I was told that class started at 10 a.m., right? When my thing is, I don't understand why Kyron would go back to look at the exhibits he had the day before, but he's a kid. He can, whatever. I would like to see what the school was doing at 8:45. Was there a bell that rang? That kind of thing. Their schedule, their everyday routine, because I think that would help us figure out and pinpoint when it happened, because right now it's put out that she was the last, even though they say she's not a suspect. I'm not kidding you. When they say she's not a suspect or a POI, right? Every newscast says, but she was the last person to be seen with Kyron and the last person to see him alive.
Well,
so that
news and media,
I know, but I'm like, everybody says it.
But why doesn't the I need to send you that link I was talking about, because if Tony is messaging the media saying no, she's not cooperating, but LE comes out and says, yeah, she's cooperating. The media takes, like, Garnett knows, she's been through it with Orion. They flipped so much stuff. We know, we see it in a lot of cases where they go after one person, and it's just, that's what the media does. But on the age progression photos, like, they don't say, last person seen. When it first happened, they put out the picture of, Terry, Dee Dee, whatever.
My only issue with the age they do it every anniversary, right? Every 10, they do it. And I think that's an attempt to make the public, like, we own it or whatever. But yet they say he was last seen wearing this, wearing that, and it's just so confusing. And it can go both ways.
Say you didn't think it was Terry,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What else? What would come to your head?
Rudy. It would have to be
Yeah.
someone that he knew, because Kyron was in the age range where they don't go off. Younger children would.
Did you know that was the two times before the school had to look for him?
Yeah, but wasn't he with another kid?
He was with like his best friend, and they both went missing for like an hour. The second time I forgot where.
Let me guess, they didn't call the parents at that time either.
I didn't even ask that. Like, I think
We
James
can just say yes. Right? We can say yes.
They probably didn't, and that's
Yeah.
my thing too. Why?
Especially if he went missing before. What the hell? If he
Yeah.
walked out before, why wouldn't you, like, we got to have our stuff together. Let's put in cameras. Or let's, check in with every teacher at this time who, if you haven't seen him by this time, like, sound the alarm. Not at all.
If my
They've
child-
changed the law, though. Now they have to. They have
Yeah.
to report it.
Yeah,
Every state has that, except, or it didn't have it. I was like, why not?
that's ridiculous.
But I think if it's not Terry, and it's not like I want it to be her, because I know she loved him, and I know he adored her. I don't want it to be her, right?
Yeah.
But Rudy, the suggestion, if this is fake, right? If Rudy does not, and he tried to come on to her, I do believe that if she smelled his cologne, she was close enough to him to smell it. So it suggests that she's telling the truth, in my opinion, that he came on to her. And it made her feel like, great, now I'm going to be assaulted. And like it scared her. And then out of revenge, he just comes up and says this stuff. The problem is that, I don't know, they met in a restaurant, and I find that kind of weird. But if let's say she did ask him to get rid of, that was the words he used, get rid of him, or of King, it only makes me think, okay, well, guess what? Maybe he decided on his own, or maybe even she insinuated, and Kyron too. Like, Rudy really if they've interviewed him, they need to re-interview him, in my opinion. It's suspicious to me.
Rudy Sanchez. Let me pull up his court thing, because he also changed something.
Don't tell me he changed his name. I'll die.
No.
Okay, no, I won't die. But
No.
he's an illegal immigrant, right? Wasn't he an illegal immigrant? And they kept him in, ICE took a hold of him. Him and his cousin or his brother. And kept them in jail for a while for being undocumented. While he's trying to apparently help the police, they're like, yeah, no, mm-mm.
Yeah, so, could it have been look, we need, do you really think a woman is going to get lucky enough to get away with 3 murder for hires? And I just don't see it.
Here's the thing. I don't know if it's so much luck. Well, you're right. It would have to be, because the first one this man claims, right? He told Kyle Abashi, whatever, right? That this guy came out of the bushes with a gun, and while Terry's supposedly jetting, she says he's here for you. Now, why he didn't report that blows my mind. But that's why that never went anywhere. Now, this one, no money was exchanged. And he showed up asking for money. And he said the person with him was the one that was going to do it, because he wasn't gonna. And Terry saw that. And she was like, yeah, you get out. Like,
Yeah,
she caught
called
on.
the police. Like,
Yeah, she called it a threat call.
Yeah.
And then later, Kane served her, and she called the police again because, he took her kid. And that's one. Let me ask you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that circumstantially it looks bad that she kind of, I know that she was made to stay away from Kiara for a certain amount of time, but she also was given a reunification plan?
She did go through it with what James said. And
she did?
Yeah. And he says that
Has she seen Kiara?
No, but I think James. I forgot what he said. Something like she doesn't. She wants her out of danger, and she something.
Right.
I forgot what he said. But
Alienated said that some women just aren't born. They don't have, and they feel guilt about it. Like that is true. Like some women have a hard time bonding.
Oh, sorry. I was like,
inhaling run it.
Inhaling my vape at the same time.
You vape and smoke cigarettes? Naughty. Stick to
I'm
vape.
quitting cigarettes.
Amen. Good for you. That's how I quit.
Turned to a vape.
That's exactly how I did it. I did it with the Jolt, and now I vape my ass off.
I don't know if I like it though. I don't.
You'll get used to it. Which vape do you use?
It's a high five. It's not. I need to buy like a real. This is just like a one you throw away or whatever.
Right.
But it's a high five iced quad berry.
You should try the Vuse.
What is it called?
Vuse, Vuse. Every market has it. Yes, and they have like 2.4 and then 5. You can pick, but it's fat. It's not. They last forever. And it's cheap. I mean, I do it a lot, so it's kind of expensive for me. But it's good. Jewel was the best in my opinion. It just felt right. I'm a menthol person.
I am too. Yes.
So much in common.
Sixth Sense, how are you? This is one of our subs from New Zealand, and
oh my god, I thought you were talking about me. No. Yes. I'd love to be from New Zealand. Hello, Sixth Sense.
50 Shades of Faye. We're just talking about, we were going over Tommy Sells, and then now we're just talking about a bunch of
like I'm like, do you know this? And she's like, yeah. Oh yeah, that guy. And I'm like, yeah, like we are going over like the map of serial killers. We forget their names, but we know the crime. Yeah, we're Googling it hardcore. I'm going to have to clear my search history because if I get in trouble for anything, I'm screwed.
I say that all the time. I'm like, if they freaking looked through my thing, they would think I'm a fucking serial killer.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Oh my God. But yeah, I think James said that it's about protection, and I guess when she's 18, or I don't know what will happen.
Yeah, no, it may happen sooner because I think at 16 the court will listen to her when she says if she says I want to go live with my mom.
And it's like, but who knows what she thinks? Like, I wonder if Kane, kind of, if he talks about her, what he says about her. Like, she has to know everything.
Well, Kane actually says, and this is what blows my mind. He in his Raw interview, he says that she, they celebrate Kyron's birthday, that kind of thing. She knows, but the specifics she doesn't. And he said, I taught her stranger danger, that kind of a thing. But then I was in my head, girl, I was like, you didn't tell her what happened to her brother, so now she's going to school. Do you think the other kids aren't going to tell her? Like, it should be her father.
She has to know.
Yeah.
He's...
Kane, do you know, I've never heard him say anything other than, I think she knows something. Like, when he called her out on Twitter, after she went on Dr. Phil, he was like, whenever you're ready, it would be nice to see someone cooperate with Multnomah County. He wouldn't even name her, and I found that very weak of him. Now, he may be, I don't know. It's hard to read. He's hard to read.
Weird. Yeah. Just all the help that they denied, and the fact, I don't know.
It's suspicious, right?
It is.
It just is hinky, and I don't like to think that he was involved. But I did I'm just going to be frank. I did a statement analysis on a piece that he did, and I turned it over to P.I. Hyatt, and P.I. Hyatt's opinion was he knows after the fact. He has guilty knowledge, and it's most likely after the fact. Like, while the investigation was going on, while it was fresh. So, like, it would explain how he, I don't know, like, when he says we're standing together, united as a family with Desiree, he doesn't say, I think she did it. Like, Desiree has no problem saying that, but I've never heard Kane say it. You know what I mean?
He doesn't. And, you know,
Like, if you got a divorce from your baby daddy, say you were married, right? Well, you are. I don't know if you're married or not. Either way, if you thought that person murdered or, you know, hid your kid somewhere, whatever, in your divorce hearing, would you agree to pay that person half of your, or more than half of your 401k and give that person money? Like,
no.
I would be in contempt of court immediately.
Yeah.
There's no way you could pay me. There's no way you could get me to pay a person that I thought was responsible.
Exactly. You see, in
Yeah.
stuff like that, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
did he just fall into what everybody else is saying? Did he, you know, did you realize he kept looking at Desiree every time Dr. Phil would ask like a question? He
Yes.
would look at her like
And she looked
wanting,
scared, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like he still, what does he have over her? He's the one, I'm not trying to, you know, this sounds harsh. He cheated on his wife when she was pregnant. I think that's gross.
it
She was
is.
but you know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
is.
ugh.
I mean,
And he denied it until Kyron went missing. And then that was the first time she walked into Kyron's bedroom and she saw a picture of Terry holding Kyron, 3 days old. And she remembered that day Kane was like, "Hey, why don't you let me take the baby so you can get some sleep? I'll just drive around." He took his baby to his lover. Like, what?
well, see, I heard differently. I heard
What'd you
that
hear?
she moved in like before she had before Desiree had Kyron. Hold on. let
I
me-
know she moved in, but I don't. Can you imagine the three of them together?
No, like, no.
Is that what you're
no,
saying?
Like, no, they weren't.
Oh.
Like Desiree had moved out, but it was like
Oh,
down
yeah,
the
yeah.
street or
She did.
something.
Yeah, she did. She redecorated it. I guess he had like this modern kind of a bachelor look. And when Terry
Yeah.
moved in, she turned it into like a home, you know, homey. And Desiree made a comment like, I thought Kane was going to flip out because that's not what he likes. Well, you know.
I'm trying to find. Hold on, where? Because I heard two different sides, and then I heard like something she was at the hospital or.
And I believe you're right that there's so much out there that cannot be confirmed, and it's just sometimes hard to believe that it's like, how can we do a deep dive? Because you have us confused. It's like on purpose, like
Yeah.
police or news, you know, saying she's the last. If she's not the last person that saw Kyron, and they know that, or they're lying about that, I would. Oh my God, that's crazy. But
Well,
see, go ahead.
don't you think that they would have put that on any kind of information that's coming out? You know, why did they all of a sudden start changing the pictures, the truck, the everything?
Because they didn't have. How do I say this? They were kind of catching up, and they put Dee Dee's picture on there, and that really upset me. I was like, why? I get that you guys think that she was missing the. Go ahead.
Grog, you're trying to get on.
Oh. Well,
Graz, I don't think this is the time because
I'm legally bound to not address this person.
and we don't want drama. So,
Amen.
you know,
Another time.
yeah.
if you have the patience.
I don't
Wow.
even.
Wow. Is he backstage still?
Yeah. No.
In my opinion, he
It
did
said
that.
Joe something, and then it had his little fist with Graz. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Graz, no, like I don't.
He did that on purpose, girl.
Yeah, we talked about everything. There's, it's time to really just move on.
Yes. Take a break. Maybe he should, go to rehab or something. In my opinion, I think, and I've always said that. Like, I don't despise him. It's just, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
I mean, I admit that I felt the same way at one point, but
he's good at what he does, right?
We've talked about it, and the past is the past.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving on, and it's gonna just stay like this. Like we're perfectly fine right now, okay?
Yeah.
And it's gonna stay like that, like I said. Okay, I've said some things, you've said some things,
and guess I'm gonna make a prediction. He's gonna go on a show and say, Lexi said this, Lexi said that. Don't buy that. And I don't believe a word that man says. So don't.
I mean, even if he has messages, okay, in the beginning, we were talking and we were trying to help him figure out who Maria was, and because we didn't know the full story. And
yeah, but see, he can't share those because he's looking for Maria, right? Or wants to find her, which only backs up that he's still obsessed with her and he's trying to find her, and he wanted your help, and then I guess he thought he was doing you a favor by doing the Chiron show that he ruined.
Yeah, because and I've said something.
In my opinion,
of course, like I said some things to him, and but it doesn't. We moved on.
But I don't blame you for that because he's good at what he does. And then when did you catch that? Got involved. It kind of not concreted it, but started the structure. And then, of course, the release of half of my background. And then another, the other claim. It was like cemented it. I was like, I'm done. People believe this. And nothing I can say will ever the truth is not winning. That's why I was like, man, he can make you believe.
I have said, like, I think when Amy, I found out.
You mean Shammy Amy? Sorry.
Oh, Shammy Nanny.
Shammy. She should be ashamed.
I was like, oh, we should do a show, and I've said some petty things, and
she's actually really smart, computer, and she, as you can see by Graz's upgrade in work, it was good, but his intro, but unfortunately, I
don't get it. Why can't everybody just, like, do you see how people are like, oh, we're so, so proud of you guys. Like this, it's adulting. It's like.
But see, Maria tried that and Graz could not handle it. And I wished you could see, she has it on our channel. I'll link it in the private chat. It shows the text messages where she is like, he thinks he's talking to Maria on Reddit in a group called Unsent Letters. He has said this, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't her.
I was confused when I looked at that. Because I didn't know what the hell. Like, I stopped. I looked at it for like 5 minutes and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is about.
Yeah, and most don't. And I get mad at the people who knew what went down and are in there, like Geek Mom and like Amy. Like, that was the end of us by me. But so now she does it and it's supposed to be what? Knowing? Like that's just so hypocritical, and she hurt a lot of people.
And see,
Like a lot.
I don't know. It's, you know, I feel you guys
But
were friends, and
yes, we were. Well, let me put it to you this way. I was her best friend.
yeah,
She wasn't mine. Like, honestly, that's the truth. I cared more for her than she did me.
and I've done the same, and plenty of people. That's why Garnett and me that's my sister. Like we, you know, we're friends. We're best friends. That's you can tell, you know, when
Yeah.
a
She's very
person
protective of you.
and I'm the same way, and
Yeah.
we tell each other literally everything, and that's what a friend is like. And she'll tell me straight up, like if she feels something, or you know, and we're still friends, and that's
Yeah.
a friendship. Like for her to get mad because you went on, I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, first off, he told me it was a pre-recorded live. And then when I went on and I started to see comments, I was so in shock. All I could get out was "I'm sorry," and then Did You Catch That came in and said some wicked dark shit, and I was like, I'm out, and I hung up. And Amy just went off in my chat, and I was like, and I felt so guilty.
But see, that's not a friend.
Lexi,
She didn't try to talk to you, or
I felt so guilty about one, sending Graz those texts, two, going on afterwards. But see, now it makes sense. My mom had just died, and I was grieving and confused, and emotionally it hurt. And I didn't believe it at first. I did not believe TCM at first. I thought, okay, right. And that's why I sent them to him. But he doesn't believe that, But I did. I took up for him. I'm like, no way, that's not Graz. There's no way he would do that to you. No. Mm-mm.
yeah.
And he has shown over the past year that it's worse than what she even described. Like,
As a man, okay, let's just say that he's not doing anything. Just say that.
Right,
okay?
right.
So he's not doing anything. But as a man, why are you out here? You have a big enough channel to where you can keep growing, but why are you out here trying to prove something if it's not even? I would just end it. Just
You're
put it to end.
on point, girl. On point. Move on. It's in the past.
On. And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you keep looking at other people's channels, it's just gonna make you feel worse and worse, and you're gonna want to keep going and keep going. And it's like you live in a different country. Like,
but see, I
build your
believe,
team.
yeah, and I believe he believes he's untouchable because, so therefore, when he says wicked stuff, lies, slanders, I don't have to be, who's going to show up at my door? I'm all the way over here, right? So it's like, and it's not American laws he's breaking, right? So he's getting away with it. And it's like, dude, but the stuff that he came up with, Faye is Maria. What? He knows Maria's voice. She has a very specific voice. It's got a little squeak to it.
Like, I was looking, like, we were actually helping, and I was confused at this whole thing because I literally thought that I didn't think you were Maria. I don't know. I can't even remember.
He put out a community post, and I saw Tara say, I believe Faye is Maria. She said it in his chat. Maria Collins, or Tara Collins. I guess this person that says, Faye's real name is Maria, and then she actually did say my first name, and then she said something about you can tell she's on drugs, and because I ranted a lot, and then I would apologize, like I would go back and forth. So I get how I get that. I felt crazy, but she said like something about me not being who like I've traveled a lot and I used to live in Portland. She talked shit about that. I'm like, what? Okay. Like, I'm glad I'm in your head, but please can you evict me? Stop.
Yeah.
And they're encouraging that. And when Amy goes in there and says Faye King was the one, she's the common denominator in this whole thing. No. It would be like right now, some man bugging you, and he did something that hurt you and scared you. And you said to me, Faye, this is what happened to me. I would stick up for you. The first thing I would do is get on my mic and start running that dude down the river. It's just who I am.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, right? So
the same exact
that's,
way.
yeah. So because I believed Maria, he sought revenge and planned it and did everything he said he was going to do. What blows me away, though, is I think that he's lying to himself so much. I think he's lied so much he's starting to believe it.
See,
You know?
I don't know, like, exactly. I'm so confused on the whole Maria and all that stuff. But I do believe that.
So we were all in a Discord together, right? And I would message TCM, I would message Grad, I'd message everybody every day, having a great day, and send like
Wait,
this
how did you guys all meet?
in Graz's chat.
Okay, and then you guys started just.
Well, Graz, we joined Graz's Discord, and it was like we were one close-knit family, right? Mm-hmm. We all cared about each other and respected each other. And there was a time that Maria stopped responding, and I was like, I kept asking her, are you okay? I'm really worried, because it's not like her. And I then went on Graz's show where he suddenly had all of these male callers that were calling me names and things. And at that point, I wasn't a creator, and everyone. I'm nice to people, like in chat. Like I make jokes. I respected people. Like I gave no reason for any dude to come at me. And there were like 4, and they were all like, "Faye, shut the F up. You're the C word." And then I screen caught one of the callers, and he called the person, it was Grandpa Fred, and it's a recording of a video. So basically, Graz played that video. I found that out later. I didn't find it out that night. I handled myself well. The next day, I got the text from Maria, and she's like, I need to have a private conversation. And she told me that for months, Graz behind my back was calling me Laughing Hawk, and he went so hard at it that she believed it. Her friend believed.
Laughing Hawk. So Laughing Hawk was his mod at one point.
From what I understand, yeah.
And then what did this Laughing Hawk do again?
That's the part I would love to know. I don't know, but I can't imagine if he is wanting to know who, where, and he thinks it's this person, that something weird went on. In my opinion, she turned him down. Maybe he came on to her and she turned him down, because that's exactly what happened to Maria.
But when did this Laughing Hawk come out with? I mean, if this Laughing Hawk disappeared, just leave it, right?
Right. But for 3 years, he's been searching for her. Like, why? You're married. You have a baby. What are you doing? You don't search out for somebody like that just because, and especially if, like, she upset him or did something, scandalous.
Is that what, did she do it on his channel or something?
No, she just left. He says, this is what he said. He kicked her out. Now, when Graz says things like that, I go the opposite, because it's the opposite is the truth. Yeah. She left, and he's been seeking her out ever since. So I made an announcement, Laughing Hawk. If you hear this, you are welcome to come on, or email me and tell me your story, because I do believe that there was something dark that happened, and she went into hiding like Maria did. Because he was so in his community posts, I want to see proof, these allegations, and just went nuts. Well, guess what? She provided that proof. And it did shut him up. But then he wanted to find out her real name and picture. That's recently. And no, dude, no way. Why? You have a girlfriend. Like, wouldn't that piss you off if that was your dude?
Oops. Yeah,
You know,
I
yeah,
my man would never. No, he would. He wouldn't even be on here doing all that anyway. It's
yeah, right. I get
like
that.
why?
Why? Why? There's so many whys, and and honestly, it keeps changing the stories. But I caught a post on Reddit where he actually said that he knows where Laughing Hawk is, and for 3 months she's been on another creator's channel working with him. So I'm just forewarning the community because you're probably going to see some really gross screen grabs of our conversations. So just letting you know. See you later. Like, it's what? Like, nah. You don't get.
So
Yeah, it's crazy weird.
I was live earlier and Bridge Burner came on and I was like, "Oh, where you been? You know, like you've been gone." And I was talking about I was just talking about, you know, letting things go, and he was like, "Oh, I'm glad that you and Faye are good." He was like, "You know, I have things that could take Graz's channel down."
Here's
And
the thing. He came on my live one night. That dude is so funny.
he really
He would
is.
be like, "Hey, Faye, I've got something to tell you." Click and hang up. And every time he did that, I bought it, and I'm like, "What?" And he would hang up on me. But he is so funny and well spoken. And he's
I
like,
love his music.
yeah, he's
His
good,
music's
right?
funny. Yes.
I have no issue, and I think that he clowns on people that make it easy because they're doing weird shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so burn that bridge, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I like that name, but I have no beef with that dude. Amy was the one that came in and said while he was in my live, he ran a live and she took like 16 screenshots of Graz talking shit. And she said they both were talking shit about you. And I've seen comments where Bridge Burner's like, face nuts. Well, yeah, but how does that change anything what Graz did? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, today he had a totally different outlook, and he was
Good.
like, "Oh,
I'm
wow."
glad.
you
Yeah.
know?
He seems
And
like a decent fella, actually.
yeah,
But she was in my text saying, don't trust him. He's out to get you. Like him and Graz both. Like a couple of months before she became his girlfriend. Like,
what?
nuts. Yes. And why would you text someone that's not, you know what I mean? She started out with, "I know we don't get along." What? I haven't spoken to you since that time. And I don't want to. What do you want? Well, I'm letting my conscience be my guide. So I'm giving you this information. Her conscience. And I was like, oh, God. Girl, she ain't got one. No, I know.
What? I mean, how are you with somebody that's married and has a baby? Unless they're just doing that as like a joking kind of thing. Which is weird too.
Because Graz was like, with my beautiful girlfriend, he kept girlfriend, like he ran that so hard. I was like, I wonder if this is an act. But because of what
Well, yeah,
Amy,
because you wrote that community post. Like, so I was like, maybe it's just, you know. But then when we did the messages, like I told you, we got in a group message. But then I ended up just calling, and then we talked, and I don't know. I don't even remember if they said oh yeah, they said that. I think Graz said, "Yeah, that's my girlfriend," and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's nice to meet you." Like, I'm confused on why you were mad at me in the chat that time, and
I think, in my opinion, one, being drunk, and two, he took everyone's friendships away, not just yours. But I think you said he hasn't talked to you since he was on your channel.
yeah, like he stopped communicating with me, and like I
Right.
would write and be like, "Hey, you know, what's going on?" And there was nothing.
No answer, right? And you see, it's a girl. I will stand with you if he pulls this shit. But watch him say, "She kept texting me over and over. She won't leave me alone. She's stalking me." Like, are you word for word?
Oh my god!
And I pray that doesn't happen, Lexi.
I mean, even if it does, like
I know you can handle yourself.
I don't know. It's like I won't care because
the only thing that you'll see is like, hey, you good? Like, why was Amy mad? Or, you know, it wasn't
No,
even,
I get that there was shit said. I get that, and I'm
Yeah.
not. It would shock me if it wasn't, because Graz has a way, right? And when you believe him, it would make sense that somebody would talk shit. That's not far fetched. I did. You know, when I was mad, when I apologized to him, I had a conversation that he secretly recorded, and I said, you know, it's weird. I just have suspicion, like that kind of thing. And of course, he shared that, and to try and cause dissension, so that Marie and I wouldn't talk anymore. Like, no, dude,
Yeah.
no. But you haven't seen, and I'm glad you haven't. But
Yeah.
I've been privy to everything he's posted, the lives, the crazy talk. That it's just like, girl.
Well, I was surprised he came on right now. Like, I mean, like
I know
said,
why.
I know. I mean, but I don't like, I told Garnett, like, we don't want problems, but we will not associate with, like, because when you feel used in any type of way, like, you know,
I
you
think
have
that's, in my
communication.
opinion, I think that's why I think he used you. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that. And I'm sorry for Kyron for that. Graz
Yeah.
never covered, hardly, he did a couple of cases on boys.
I put the link because I think Garnett is going to come on.
Okay. He never did Kyron. And
Well, we were
I
happy because we were like, oh, we can get, you know, he has
yes,
a
I had
thing.
hope.
Yeah.
I had hope that, okay, he's going to, because Graz can do it right when he knows something, he can articulate it
That's what I
well.
noticed. That's why I'm like, you know, he's good, you know, when he wants to.
Yeah.
But the whole drunk live, that's kind of what made me like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as him being married and or separated, I don't believe they're separated. I just don't. And I think him calling the girlfriend comment is to punish her, because in that chat, in that drunk live, his wife was in that chat, and he told her, "What are you doing here? Get out." And then he said, "All I care about is my girlfriend." They're still living together, because they're still together, but he's just a dick. Sorry, a prick. I mean, jerk. I have a sailor's mouth. It's awful.
You're
I'm sorry,
fine.
Lexi.
We
It's
were
just
doing so
frustrating.
good. 'Cause you
I know,
came in
right?
here,
Graz, you suck.
guys. Let's get back to.
Do you know the joke why 6 was afraid of 7?
No.
Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh, yeah, I do know.
Dude, those dumb jokes kill me. Those one-liners, I'm dead. So cute.
7, 8, 9.
Yep, because 7 ate the hell out of 9.
Hold on. Wait, is this Garnett? It better be you, Garnett.
You should probably... Yeah.
Okay, it is Garnett.
Yeah, it's her.
We only started talking about, because he tried to get on and we were talking about Casey.
He came here to start shit.
But how are you?
I'm good. I am good. I'm really, really, really hoping that this is
You're roboting, Garnett.
Wait, Garnett, we can't hear you.
You're roboting. I wonder if she's driving
She just
home
got
from
off
work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's probably tired too.
Garnett,
hold on.
Okay,
am I in trouble? Why do you sound mad at me?
see. I was just gonna say, Lexi did it.
What did I do, Garnett?
I'm just kidding.
What did I do? I love you.
You didn't. No, she said, "Hold on."
Oh.
But oh my gosh, I tease my friends. I go, "Can you please turn your back so that I can start?" When I talk shit, it can be behind your back, like right to their face. I goof all the time on my friends.
Garnett gets she'll tell me like when something she's very upfront.
Yeah,
Hey.
I've heard her say, well, when you were in Facebook jail, she's like, well, don't do things to get into Facebook jail.
Yeah.
She
Hi,
knows,
guys.
and that's why
Hi.
I'm calmed down because
Yes.
Garnet and has taught me a lot, and
And
I
that's
love her.
great.
Garnet,
Hello.
Garnet, she loves you, Garnet. She's just telling
know.
everybody how much she adores that.
Like it. I don't know. I am glad that this is over.
Amen,
Yes.
sister. Amen. And I don't know if you know about if Lexi told you or not, but my lawyer has issued a cease and desist to Graz's girlfriend, and his name is on it. But I'm not going to have him served in Peru because it's pointless in my opinion. But because she's a representative of this channel, I had to.
she just told me this like you were at work and it was on a live.
Yeah, I
But
read out
she's not
the
gonna
cease
do
and desist.
She's not going to do any more videos. Like it's going to be
No more. It's going to be crime related, missing children.
And you know what
And-
she does? She makes reefs like your mom.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Like she had like a beautiful reef posted. I didn't even see it. And I was like,
Oh, you
my
didn't
God,
see
Garnet's
it?
mom did that.
Okay.
No, I did see it when you post. Huh?
I want
I
Garnet
saw.
to see it. Did you see it,
Oh,
Garnet?
you saw it?
What? I did see it, Kay.
Yeah. That one I made for my mom.
That one was very pretty.
Thank you. Don't you love making them? I love making
I
mine. Yeah.
I'm
wish
not
I
as
knew how to-
relieved as my mom is, but it's definitely a relaxing time.
Yes. Yep. Mhm.
How do you do it? I need to
You-
look up how to do it.
You just buy the wreath and then you buy little ornaments. And, well, this is how I do it. I just kind of pick out a color, one specific one, and then I arrange like these little, like you could buy fake flowers or little, like at Christmas time, they have these little fake, tiny, tiny Christmas presents. And then I wrap lights and I just hot glue it and put a bow on the top. I mean, it's that easy, literally.
I'm gonna have to try it because it looks so hard. Like it looks
Yeah,
like
it's just
know.
the hard part is not getting burned. Man, my hand. I have a scar on my hand from just a hot glue gun.
oh hell no.
It assaulted me.
think You should do a
Well,
channel.
guys, the
like
car's about to get full, so I am driving home.
Well, get back on if we're on when you get home.
All right, honey, I love you. I will talk to you soon.
I
Be
love
good.
you too. I will.
You better.
I
I
am.
won't. No, I'm just kidding. Drive careful.
But yes, I think it's a good idea. Make a channel of like, doing your reefs and
Yeah.
would
It's
be
truly, I thought it's really like, because you have to have a little bit of money to start up to buy your product, right? And then
Yeah.
when I did that, I started to give them away. So it's like, but I did sell a couple, and some of them were up to $120, which blew my
Damn.
mind because I bought everything except I think even the wreath at the Dollar Tree.
I was about to say you could probably get all that stuff at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you should start like what's it called? Is that Etsy where you sell
Yes.
stuff? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because $100, $150.
Yes, I know. A friend of mine put it up on because you like a stand, and then she put made by, and and it was a guy, but he bought it for his wife.
Damn.
It blew me away. I felt important that day.
I would too.
And then I went out to eat and played a lottery machine. That's how it. Yes, of course I did, Lexi. I'm a loser. Yes.
Oh my god.
Those things they can get
living in
addictive.
California, like near casinos, I've never been to a casino ever.
Okay, check it out. And I'm not speaking in the gambling sense. Most casinos have the most kick-ass all-you-can-eat buffets. You should go for just that. Like for 18, 19 bucks, Like king crab legs, all you can. I mean, it's amazing. Their food is really good. Yeah. Do you have one close to you?
Yeah, actually, well, no, the closest one is like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe make it, plan for it.
Yeah, I will one day.
Yeah, I don't gamble anymore. If I do, I think I played the penny machines the day that I went to the one in West Virginia. But it was the buffet. No lie, I'm here to get my grub on. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not going to give food now.
That's what I would be doing because
Yep.
food is like my favorite fucking thing in the world.
Chocolate fountains.
Oh my god!
And then a person who's specifically making fresh sushi. There's that station.
Oh,
Then there's one guy carving up. What is it? Like this big slab of beef.
like a no, not a brisket. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then there's a guy that's would you like a salad? How about this? How about that? Oh my god.
Stop it, Faye. Stop.
It's okay.
I
Well,
will literally be like, look, this weekend I am leaving. I'm going to the casino.
dude, I stuffed my purse. They won't let you take doggy bags. So I'm not straight up. I stuffed my purse with seafood and desserts. My purse was so stuffed, but I'm like, I'm getting up on that. I'm getting my. I'm sneaking. I felt like a rebel.
I don't blame you. I would do the same thing.
Like, why don't they let you take a doggy bag? Because they know the doggy bag is going to be the size of a suitcase.
Okay.
But yeah.
I love buffets.
You should experience that in a casino once in your life.
I will one day.
Yeah.
One day.
That'd be a great date night too.
It would be. We barely get date. Like, we haven't
Right.
gone out in like years. Like, literally years.
Yeah. And we went through that too.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like it's all about the kids and getting house, and there was no room for it, But as we got older, it was like, okay, we're gonna do our thing like we did when we dated. So it's cool.
Like, we need that back, at least like
You'll
once
get
a
it.
month or
Yeah,
uh,
you'll get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
One day. Oh my gosh. Usually there's people in here, but
I think it's because of me. They're like, and I get that.
no, I don't think it's because, well, only 6 Cents came by and she's usually talkative, but literally, like, nobody, I never really said your channel, right? Like, nobody really knew. So if they come in here and they see that,
Oh, I see what you mean.
they're not
Yeah.
gonna know.
Well, I noticed you were live and you had one viewer, and I'm like, I'm gonna make that too. Like, yeah, right.
I think, 6 Cents, she went to Graz's channel before because, I would shout him out or whatever.
You
but then-
plugged them. You gave, yeah. There's
So, but when she went over there, like, she was like, well, what is this? Like, what is going on? Because she was there the drunk night.
Was that her first night there?
No.
Oh, thank God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, but she doesn't, she's really nice. She's a good person. Like, she doesn't, she's always like the drama. She doesn't like the drama. So,
A lot of people don't, but I do have to say there are more people that do than don't. Unfortunately.
I know, right?
It's crazy, but it's true. Because, right, it's easy
Um,
to look at somebody else instead of having to deal with your. I give the best advice, but I can't solve my own problems. I can give advice to my friends, right? My life, no. But yeah, he was great to watch at one point. And then, I don't know what happened. Just went off the rails.
I don't get it.
But I understand it takes time to process, right? I get it. And I think that because it's confusing, it's kind of hard to it's hard to understand what's going on. So you're like confused and you want the answers. I still do. But
a lot. It's like,
yeah,
why? Like, it just has to end. Like,
uh,
just isn't it mentally exhausting for everybody? Like,
it was for me. And then I'm glad I was unsuccessful, but I actually tried to end my life because I felt so guilty and I felt so like attacked that I was like, and cyberbullied, that I was like, that's it. And I was like, I'm gonna go. I had a place picked out so that my children wouldn't find me, and I had a note, the whole bit. And then I was like, so it was just like, no, I can't do this. And then I got angry. Like,
I'm so
you're right.
glad you didn't,
Yeah.
girl, 'cause- I know
Me
the
too.
feeling, because it's
Like,
a lot.
It
And
was.
it's
But it's okay. I'm okay now. I did go see a counselor. I was seeing a grief counselor, but then I went to a regular one. And she
Yeah.
told me what happened to you. It's like she told me that he was a narcissist, and everything she said made sense. Like, this dude knows what he's doing is wrong and he doesn't care. You have to understand, you know who you are, and that's what's important. And she would just let me vent. And she's like, I cannot believe that he has a channel. And I'm like, right? But yeah, it's a process.
It's went way too far, and people. We have to start thinking about other people, because when we were going through all that, it was literally driving me fucking insane. Like,
Me too, girl.
I was just like, why? Like, I was so fucking tired, and we don't think about how the other people will feel because we're just angry. Like,
It was about being right.
yeah,
More than anything, I wanted to be right.
Yeah.
And at the expense of being a
and
nuisance.
everything you went through before, like you're still
Yes.
going through it.
Well,
kind of added on
okay.
top of that.
Yeah,
so.
it was big. But I got, someone was watching me post to you and about you, and she's my sister. She was like, you take that shit down right now. Like, this needs to stop. Stop it. And so I would say, like, I would do this post and I'm like, but, and she's like, no buts, take it off. You look ridiculous.
That's
I'm like, thank you.
what other people would tell. Like,
You don't want yes people. You want people to be like, hey, let me help you out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why for so long I've been wanting to just reach out to you and be like, look.
We were I considered you easy to talk to, smart, and you are friendly. And when we stopped speaking, it just, I get it. But that's all that's happened. It wasn't like, we both did scandalous shit to each other. We just said mean girl shit.
A lot of shit.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sorry that you were used. In my opinion, I think that's disgusting, and he owes you an apology. Will you get it? I don't know.
And honestly, even if I don't care. I wish Roz would stop doing what he's doing. And like I said, if it's something that he didn't do, just stop trying to prove yourself. You have a bigger channel, like.
Right. If you're innocent, if you know you didn't do it, why are you wanting to see proof of it? Because he kept saying that. I want to see proof. And he never said, he kept saying, I didn't do it. And there was a comment that I saw, and he said, no one will ever believe that, right? Yeah. Well, I showed that comment. And then he came to the table on another live and was like, yeah, I was just joking around. Girl, what he said, So that's what he got bent over, because I believed my friend.
And you have to think, like, do you really know? We don't really know these people. Like,
no.
People could turn on you any day, but you could tell when there's a really good person. Like, we've had so many admin that we found out that we were close, really close to one of them, Lita. And we
Oh, I
found out,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, like it was a really fucked up. Like I would never think that this lady would do what she did, and
What did she do?
like just I guess supposedly she was part of the Stacy thing, and
Like
I don't know.
spying?
Yeah,
Oh, fun.
like
Did
we
you
got a
ask her if
bunch
she
of-
works for the CIA? Because she probably does do that too. Like, God.
we got a bunch of screenshots from somebody and just talking about our personal lives, and I don't know. And it's like, why, like, why can't there just
I'm
be
sorry.
good people in the world? You know, like,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's okay. It's we were
No,
both
it's not
angry.
okay for somebody to do that to anybody. But I'm sympathetic because I know how it feels.
Yeah, and like we tried to reach out to her for like a week to see like what was going on. She wouldn't respond, and then she responded and like said she didn't do any of that, and I don't know.
And you had screenshots.
Like
You
there
had the
was-
proof.
somebody came out and said that they were a part of Stacy's little group chat that had DY and a bunch of people in it.
Why don't
And-
you say Desiree Young's name? I'm confused. Do you think that you're not supposed to, or
I don't know. I just
a habit? Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, it was getting too much in there, and I got out, but I want to show you. They messaged Garnett, and they were like, I don't know. I was so
Oh,
long.
I bet Garnett she go hard on her.
No.
Oh,
She
okay.
was like, we both just kind of let it go. Like we just took her
See,
off as admin.
Yeah, and moved on, right?
Yeah. So, because it's not worth it. It's like, we thought you were a friend, but you.
Was she over there talking shit about? Yeah, your personal shit. See, that's
Yeah.
weird to me. That's so scandalous. Like,
And it's not even like, it wasn't like my uncle just passed away of cancer and she donated to the GoFundMe. So she was like, yeah, like telling them like she sent my family money.
By the
but
way-
it's like, why?
Yeah, I want you to know I honestly did not do a live because I knew that your family member passed, and I am sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. I loved my uncle. He was my favorite. Uncle
Yeah,
Circle.
he's a father to me. Like he,
Oh. So you've also suffered a great loss, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so going through all of this, and then, I know how you feel because you lost,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you were going through the stuff with Graz, and it's just too much. Ugh.
And here's the thing. When there were times that I was like, okay, no, like a long period of time. And then all of a sudden I'm in a post and it was like, why? What now?
Yeah.
So even when I tried to be successfully avoidant of him, he would go out of his way. Like, we're going to fight.
Well, see, now I think that you just don't feed into it and see what happens. Like,
Oh, I can't run a live about Graz until the legal situation is taken care of with Amy. So
yeah. And I even think after that, like, just maybe if they don't get attention, then they'll just stop. And if they don't, then that's a whole different story. But
Yeah.
I would give it a little bit longer.
I really don't. I'm like you. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? Like,
Graz came out and said something about me. Like, I'm not gonna pay attention to it. It's not that serious. Like,
right.
we just cut out of this. I'm not.
I'm not calling him like. Well, I think that he does have he has issues like everyone else does.
Yeah.
But I think that he somehow suffered trauma and got stuck in this mode of like an obsession. And
Yeah.
that can happen. And so when he started to see Maria's name everywhere, he believed that truly was her. And then she would say, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he probably felt lied to. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Did you guys ever try to all talk to each other in like a group
No.
chat or something?
I sent him a screenshot. I was texting him and I put in quotes, eating out of a dog bowl. I never said who said it. And it was a quote, right? He goes, that's what she said. I said, laugh out loud. No one will believe that. Then kicked me out of his Discord. Like that.
After this though, like
No.
you guys have never tried to let's just sit down and let's talk about all this. Like
Yes, when after I went on the live and I started to feel guilty, like I had caused the community all this, like I felt responsible. Now I know I wasn't. It wasn't. I was brought into it. I didn't get like I want this to happen. But yeah, Graz and I started to talk, and he would apologize, and I believed it, and no, like it was all just another con. And it was humiliating because we started flirting, and then he accused me. He sent. Did you catch that? A video, a picture, and all of my texts. And she has gone all over the place calling me sexual. I never sexually harassed the dude. We flirted, and he denied that. He said we weren't, and I'm like, dude, okay, whatever. Like. Why would you can't lie to the person that you're doing it with, like, right? You can lie to somebody else, but the person that you were flirting with, you cannot lie to me. Like, come on.
Yeah, because on the live, it didn't turn out like it was supposed to. He went on there. I don't know if it was sincere, but when he said that you were texting him,
what do you mean? Texting or like sending Discord messages?
Or I don't know what you guys were talking about.
Because that's what happened. He stopped. We were talking. Huh? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
We were talking about how he said that you were messaging him like inappropriately and he didn't like it.
Right. What did you catch that was pumping was the sexual harassment claim, and he even said it on my live. You said you wanted to worship me in a Japanese. I said that was something. Well, I'm not going to reveal. We were flirting, and he said, "I want to get inside of your mind," and I said, "I want you inside me too." Laugh out loud, because that's the way I am. I joke with people, and he laughed, but he said that, but he didn't show that he took that message off. So the text really did look like I said that, which is nuts. But
I never saw any of that. I just heard you guys talking about it on the live that day. Like he went on and tried to like apologize or whatever, and then started talking about Amy, and it went all bad.
He made a list, and so far he's 2 people in it, and Amy was on that list. Not a trip.
A list for what?
For revenge. Not for supporting Juan Maria. He's literally said this: if I see anybody here over there liking or commenting on her posts, we're done. Like, what? Like, you can. Why can't? Are you like is Graz trying to control what people watch or who they like? Like, he finds that a betrayal, and so he was like, "I'm calling it," and he called out 5 names. So when I heard that they were dating, I was like, I wonder if he is doing this because he thinks Amy has information about Maria, and he'll find it out. That's originally what I thought.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's what I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't get it. They, I don't know.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It's so hypocritical for her to run hard at me and say things. She called me a stalker, and she knows that I didn't have contact with Graz. I wrote Graz an email, and then he claims I called. I love this one. She called in the middle of the night and whispered, like, and then his wife got on and said it, right? And it sounds like she's reading a script. It's really weird. Why? One, she lives in Peru. How am I supposed to call? And how do I know her number in Peru? Yeah. And if it's not her number, is he going to say that she answers his Discord calls? Like, no. So, yeah, it was weird. But then he wanted to, when we were talking again, he's like, hey, do you want to watch a movie? And just you and me? It'd be cool to hang out. And I was like, sure. And the next time I talked to him, he goes, did you tell my wife that we were watching a movie together? And I said, nope, I'm not doing this with you.
Oh my God.
Because now, I mean, I don't even, right? Like, it was like he wanted to accuse me of that and then start drama. And I was like, nope, I'm not it. Like, no.
Yeah, it's like, why?
Yeah.
A man is not supposed to be into all of this, you know? And see, I'm thinking, because I'm like, okay, he apologized and say he was sincere, but on both sides, do you think that there's just a bunch of stuff being said that out of anger? Or
well, yeah, Graz is saying a lot of things out of anger. Me, I feel like I'm defending myself. Like, I have to prove, like, he did say this and I said this. And lately he's been successful in changing the narrative because he has, one, Amy helping him, and two, did you catch that, backed him up with that dumb video? Like, right? So he feels like more powerful, like he can do whatever he wants and spin it. No. And that's why I was like, you can't lie to the person that you harass. You can't lie about it. No, I'm not going. And that's why I made the Graz effect. And that has had a profound effect. People believed me more when I didn't speak than they did when I do. Because, you know, I yell and rant. And he's just, ever since, just been Faye this, Faye that, everywhere, in everybody's chat.
I just, oh my God.
I want it. Well, it is on my end.
Oh, I know. No, I'm saying on his end, on
right,
everybody's end. Just,
I just don't think he lives. I can't imagine him being a very happy person.
Was it like this all the time? Like before he had Discord, was it drama or?
Well, no. I mean, he would clown on other creators, but never was it personal, vicious slant. Never.
Yeah.
He lost his channel because he got copyright struck, and then he literally said, "Until I get to 1,000 subs, I'm not coming on camera." Like he was going to make his audience pay, and then he went weird. Like you don't call a woman the B word in front of women. Like that's just, and he knows better. So it was weird. He just went off the deep end. But whatever. He should go back to true crime.
Yeah. Why not just do what he was doing?
And I don't mean cover his own case. Sorry, last jab. Sorry. I can't help it. God. Yeah, it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
It is. I feel like, you know.
You sound tired, honey.
I am.
Me too. We have plenty of time. We can do whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm over here yawning now.
Yeah. Go get some sleep.
I appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry that you didn't have more views. I think that what you were talking about, totally smart. But it'll happen.
I'll get them later.
The
They'll
replay. Yeah.
So if you guys watch, please go subscribe to 50 Shades of Faye.
Oh my gosh.
as
Thank you.
you know, we're adults now.
We are adulting.
I will talk to you later then, and
Thank you, Lex.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Thank you. You take care, okay?
thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't subbed, please sub and give our videos a thumbs up. Everybody have a great night. Please be kind out there. There is too much hate in our world already. You never know what anyone's going through. So yeah, just be kind. And remember, if you see something, say something. And I will see you guys later.